here with Paolo Matita and Sam Casar of Brightware Insurance. Hi guys, how are you doing?
Good, good.
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to sit down with us and go over these questions. I know you get this all the time, but there are a lot of consumers out there that maybe just don't understand what's going on about their policy.
Absolutely.
And don't take the time or just don't understand it. When people are preparing for hurricane season, are there specific sections of your homeowner's policy that you should be looking at?
The most important thing is to make sure that you understand what your deductible is. So knowing what your deductible is and budgeting for, God forbid you have damages that are exceeding that deductible, you have to make sure that the dwelling coverage that you are insuring the property for, you understand for the most part, your deductible is going to be probably 2% of that dwelling coverage. So for example, if you are insuring a house for $500,000, your hurricane deductible is going to be $10,000.
So as we're in hurricane season, we get named storms from time to time. And when you're buying a house, you need to get coverage. When is a point when you can't bind that coverage or obtain that coverage? And how do you avoid that happening in your transaction where it might delay a closing?
So bind as soon as you can, basically. So we can issue a policy 30, sometimes 60 days in advance from a closing. You can get a quote right away, get your inspections done right away, pick out your insurance policy and your agent, get it issued as soon as possible, and then that's the easiest way to do it.
Typically, wherever is projection that the storm's going to hit, they have this probably radius of about 200-300 miles that they define as a cone. So 72 hours before storm entering the cone and 72 hours after exiting the cone is when the moratorium is in place and we can't bind the coverage. So if it's a slow moving system, and let's say it just is going 5 miles an hour, which happens a lot, it could be sitting in the Gulf for 4 or 5 days and while it exits the cone. So you're looking at 3 days prior, 5 days while in the cone, 3 days after. So we could potentially be shut down for 10 days with not being able to bind the coverage. Same goes for hazard and flood.
So there's many different coverages on our insurance policy.
Oh, yeah.
We have wind, we have hurricane. When we have a named storm, how do you figure out which bucket it's going under?
So, wind, with most carriers, wind, hail, named storm, that's going to be under that hurricane deductible.
Okay.
As long as there's name attached to the storm, the hurricane deductible applies.
Yeah.
So if you have a separate deductible for wind, could that be a non-hurricane event? Could it be a storm that gets to a certain...
As long as it's named. Okay. If it's named, still going to be hurricane deductible. Okay. If it's just a storm or tornado that has no name attached to it, you're going to have that other peril deductible, which typically is either $1,000 or $2,500.
Right. I'm sure people have learned a bunch of things that they didn't know and are going to start taking their policies out and reading them a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
No,
much.
thank you for having us.
Thank you.